you doing?
Trying to stay warm.
I hear you, man. I hear you. No, we got back from our West Coast trip and got to jump right back into today and get ready for UW. Being a Thon game Saturday, we're appreciative to be a part of that, and we have the biggest student philanthropy in the world, and to do our part here on Saturday is something special, and we don't take it for granted. So we got to play better. We were not playing to the standards that I want, and we want in this program as we build it, and it's part of being in the Big Ten. But we got to get back here and get right here over the next couple of days and be ready to play at 2 o'clock on Saturday.
Hey, Mike, we've talked a lot about you getting the best out of Ace Baldwin on and off the court. Given some of his social media repostings lately and how he's played, do you feel like that's the case right now?
I thought he gave us good minutes the other day. We all got to contribute the right way, John, to go. I think some of that is frustration, which we all have, and all that stuff. There's better ways to handle it. We'll handle all that internally and all that stuff. Super competitive guys get frustrated. I am, but we got to continue to push it in the right direction.
Mike, when you're kind of rearranging pieces and trying to speed up development or rush development as much as you possibly can for those replacement pieces, like how much development can happen during a season versus the preparation that you're giving for your next opponent?
Well, I always think a lot. I mean, I always feel in your program what you focus on is what you really hope you get out of stuff as you move along, and development. Everybody's development goes as it goes, right? Some can develop a little bit quicker than others, but that's why you have a plan and you work the plan all the time. And one of the coaches I worked for a long time says not everybody's ship comes in the port at the same time, right? But it's going to come in, and I just we have some guys that throughout the course of the year have improved, and we need them, and they've helped us. But it's also it's long-term planning, there's short-term development, stuff like that. You just got to stick with. That's part of building a program and helping players develop.
Mike, you talk about the frustration that you and your players are dealing with. How have you tried to, I guess, channel that into something positive? Like, what's the process for trying to coach these guys through it?
Well, that right there, channel everything and try to keep the main thing, and the number one thing is noise, right? When things aren't going your way, you can give in to the noise, or you can just sort of try to get a singular focus on basketball, and that's really hard. And it's 18 to 22-year-olds. I'm an adult, and I've been through this before, and it's not easy. But what you got to do is you got to focus on your love of the game and your team, and just keep grinding that way. And that's really hard because you say, oh, yeah, we got to do that, coach. But it's still happening. Yeah. That's the process part and the journey that you're on. You try to get to a singular focus of just, all right, I'm going to work today to be the best player I can be today, to contribute to my team. I'm going to have a great practice for our team today to push it in the right direction. It's hard. I think today's our 83rd practice. And it's a long year. It's been a long stretch here the last 40 days. That's the approach, the singular focus of just trying to get better. It's hard, but that's got to work.
Mike, where do you think Javin, Dom, and Miles' heads are at right now that they're a couple games into seeing some increased minutes and the results are still, difficult to handle?
Yeah, I mean, we don't need those guys to be heroes. Just, hey, give us minutes. Play, find a way to help us when called upon. And I think they're doing that. I appreciate and like how hard they're playing. They've been locked in. I think you see a little bit here and there of each of those guys, what they can do, and with more time, maybe do it more. And just trying to give us some life and trying to give us some positive mojo, as I called it. You saw that from Dom the other day, and they're going to make mistakes because they're freshmen. They're young, like all freshmen do. But we got some guys banged up that are playing, but they're just playing so many minutes. We got to get those guys in there and see if they can help us and give us some juice.
Coach, you kind of touched on it with the last question, but when it comes to finding your why as to why we play, why we coach, how important is it that you have your why as to why you do things every day, especially when you're going through a tough stretch and you guys are?
Yeah, well, number one is we don't have to do this. We get to do this. We choose this, Mason. So if you identify as a basketball player or identify as a basketball coach, we get up every day to do that. We're the lucky ones. We're the fortunate ones, and these guys get to go to college for free and play basketball on the biggest stage in the Big Ten in college basketball. They get to do that every day. They're very fortunate. Now, you also have your, hey, I wanted it to go this way, and then when it doesn't go your way, that's when you really got to lean on that, and so that's got to be your why all the time. I get to coach college basketball. Are you kidding me? And even when you're getting your head kicked in, it's frustrating. It's hard, but I got up this morning and I'm a basketball coach, and I get to go in the gym with guys that want to be basketball players, and you just keep pushing forward together. That's our why. And then hey, why can't we try to find a way to get success down the stretch here? So we've had it at times this year, and it's been a great high, but we've had some deep lows here. Let's try to find a way to get out of it together because of our why.
Coach, 0-3 against the West Coast teams, the new Big Ten teams this year. Is there anything about their style of play or maybe a learning curve that comes with playing new teams, and how can you take that into Washington?
No, I mean I don't think so. I think they're all very similar to the rest of the teams in the Big Ten. I think everyone plays their way, but you're not sitting there going they're completely different than everybody else. No, I think that's the one thing some people have asked me. Are they different? Now, I think they emphasize what they emphasize. You could see that on scouting and watching their games, and in live action as well.
Mike, now almost a full season with the freshmen and the transfers you brought in from this past year. How have you kind of seen them evolve in terms of their leadership and their mentality? And has anyone really stood out to you from that group?
I think all the guys have I've seen some development without a doubt. Now, putting them in the minutes that some of these guys haven't gotten, that some of it they've succeeded and some of it we haven't, and that's the evaluation part and the development part. We got to continue to emphasize and moving forward. The transfers we brought in, some of them like Yannick have made great impressions on us, and still there's a level of a transition that all these transfers are going to go through it. I call it transfer rehab. There's a period of adjustment for everybody from where you're at, new league, style of play, just a new way of doing things. There's a level of adjustment, and then for freshmen, the freshmen don't know what they don't know. They got to go through it. Miles getting hurt, he was out for 6 months. That's a tough one there, but I think the other guys there's been some development there that we can lean on as we move forward.
Mike, how do you kind of handle the on-court frustrations when it happens during games as opposed to, there's obviously you can sit down guys, talk to them between games, but what do you do during a game when you kind of notice that guys?
Yeah, it's the mental part of it, right? Right in competition, John, is the reset part. You gotta reset when the other team goes on a run and we call it timeout or whatever it is. You huddle. You got to let go of the frustrations and reset. When you have a period of disappointment and you have a period where things aren't going your way, not just through a game but over multiple games, it's harder to let go of that. It's harder to reset, and I think that's the part where you got to keep talking to the guys about it. You got to keep reteaching them, showing them that until it sticks. And our seniors have played unbelievable a high amount of minutes. We've been banged up, whatever. No excuses, and they have a level of frustration because you saw the success we had early and the excitement going in Big Ten play, and it hasn't gone as we want. And like all competitive, you have frustration. and we all want to say you just got to leave that frustration at the door and get ready for the next game. Well, that's just really hard, and but you got to work on it. You got to continue to work on it. In the middle of the game, I just think we have plays that we just can't always let go of, and that is where it snowballed on us. And a bad offensive possession, you let it go. You got to move on to the next play. It's the biggest play is the next play. When you don't, that it affects the other end of the court, and I think we're seeing that.
Coach, with the Thon game this weekend, what does playing for a cause like that mean to you, and what kind of message are you giving to your guys who maybe haven't played in that Thon game yet?
Yeah, just people are going to be here to support us and to support that cause. What we can do is our part. Be great teammates and play really hard, and put yourself in a position to be successful at 2:00 on Saturday. Those are the three things that I'm going to harp on with our guys, and let's do our part. Let's work really hard to prepare for it, to do our part, and then let our hair down and go play. So we got to get right, as I use that term. It's been a hard few weeks here, but nobody feels sorry for us. We got to do our part on Saturday to find a way to win the game.
Couple for you. Yeah, I know. Is Ace's back getting better?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, some days are better than others. So, but it's not as bad as it has been. So he was feeling better the other day, but he does. He's not 100, but he's feeling better.
Puff's timeline was a while. Is there any hope of getting him back before the end of the season?
Right at this point, no.
Okay. And then last one is, when you made the decision to shut down Eli, were there any options, I guess, for that? Like,
No.
Okay.
No, yeah. And look, they're all. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, number one thing I said going into this season is we got to stay healthy. That was number one. We brought these guys back, which not every program could bring back all your seniors, and thought we got a great portal class, and so we had freshmen that with development are gonna help us, but that was number one on the list. And the second day of practice, Miles goes down, and we're not the only team in America dealing with injuries. I'm not sure we've just bad timing of injuries too. But for Eli's example, his health is more important than anything for all these guys, and we got to a point where it wasn't improving, and it was only stunning his growth as a player, and you can't play injured all the time. Number one, you can't play to your best, but you sure can't get better, because all you're doing is putting all your time and energy into being able to get to practice the next day or to feel a little bit better for the next practice. That doesn't work. And sitting with the doctors and our trainers, that was a decision we made, and I stand behind it. And do we really need him right now? Heck yeah, but his health's most important.
Mike, you've mentioned a couple times over the past couple of weeks that this is something that you've been through before, in different times in your career. In this experience, what is different this time, and what is similar, as you look back compared to other stretches?
Well, I think they're all different where you're at, different in the schedules. What your schedule is different and so forth. I just think the injury part. I'm not making excuses about it. I've gone through some injuries before in other teams, and it just changes. It changes what you've worked on for a long period of time, and changes the way you practice. So much of it now is trying to keep bodies fresh and minds fresh to be ready to compete at a high level the next time out. So that it just changes your approach, your daily approach, maybe more than other years. That's probably the biggest thing right now for us. I think everybody handles stuff. When you have adversity or great adversity like we've gone through, some of it you can control, some of it you can. And I think at times we controlled some of it pretty well, and other times we haven't. We allowed frustration to really impact how we played. And that's on me. That's on me. I got to get these guys to reset themselves and be all about the next play. And that's frustration with guys that are super competitive and that want it so bad. But that's the stuff you got to go through. So I don't know if I answered it completely there, but every season is different. Every month of a season is different, and you got to go through it. Some of it, when you have limitations, can become frustrating. But you gotta hang in there. You gotta pull through, and you have a good day, and it turns into 2 good days, and you get a win. Can change a lot of things moving forward, and that's what we're desperate for right now. That's our great urgency.
To follow up on that, when you think about this stretch in terms of self-evaluation, is it something that you'll wait till the end of the season to
Heck
really
no,
look back
no,
at
it's
the
every day. It's what keeps you up at night as a coach, and that to me is everything. Like, this is my fault. This is on me. I'm the head coach at Penn State, and I got to do a better job of helping these guys understand that. I got to do a better job of helping our guys through games, and it's I've always felt like that. And I know that's the right way. This is on me. I'm the leader of this group. I got to help these guys more. I'm not doing a good enough job of helping them get through this tough time in this stretch, and I got to be better. I got to help these guys in the heat of the action, as well as when I'm meeting with them, watching tape, or sitting down at a meal in the hotel room, of getting through it to them. And we have a group of guys that these guys are in pain. These guys, this has bothered them. You can see it, and I appreciate that. It means so much to them. But as the head coach, I got to do a better job, and that's what is eating me alive. But I know my approach. I'm not stopping. I got to find a way to help these guys.
So, sometimes the conversation is missed shots impacting defense, and maybe the reverse can be true. Do you have a diagnosis of where you feel like the original sin is in terms of like where things are breaking down for you guys?
Well, I 1A may be just turnovers. So a lot of it is. Look, the teams we're playing are good teams. Don't get me wrong, and they have a plan too. But a lot of it is beating ourselves plays. That to me is, and the frustration I have, but also is I got to figure it out. I got to help these guys even more. Our turnovers that we can't defend, our turnovers, or not finishing a play that leads to something we don't defend. That's really hurt us. I think you saw that on this trip as well, this recent trip. Some breakdown that to me is mental breakdown or discipline, that we've done it at a high level. We're not doing it consistently now. That part of it. Now, missing shots, it all, when you miss shots, it feeds into things without a doubt. But we want to hang our hat on being able to guard the ball and guard in actions. And we're not doing that. And I think sometimes your lack of offense impacts that. I mean, that's natural. To an extent that it's hurting us so much, yeah, maybe. But I think the big part is the self-induced plays, the turnovers, or some plays that just really hurt you, that the opponent hasn't had much impact on.
To piggyback off that from a big picture perspective,
Yeah.
is there a moment where this turned from maybe a couple fluky losses to a bigger thing, and now you're in this route? Like, can you pinpoint a game or a moment where it became?
I don't know if I could pinpoint a game or a moment, but some of our late game stuff, took some air out of our sail, without a doubt. So, and that's on me. Like, we gotta finish out some games, and I think that let's call it as it is. I mean, that takes your confidence. We've had some really close games. We've had some games where, man, that could have been one, that could have been another, and we didn't finish that. And the disappointment of that, you lose confidence. It's reality. That I think some of that, John, has seeped into extending this, and we got to just continue to fight through it. And, when you're in a hole, the best way to get out of a hole is together, and that's how we got to be down the stretch here and fight. Thanks, guys.